Hey guys, thanks for watching. I'm Katie Horvath. This is Into the City. On today's episode, I'm going to share with you guys some footage from an interview that I conducted with Marie Timperley as part of the election series. Marie is running in the 2018 Sarnia municipal election for a city councillor seat. So we're going to look at what Marie is like both politically and outside of the political realm. I'll talk to her about her thoughts on the current council, and we will close out the interview with questions for Marie on what her specific platform is, some of the issues that she would like to bring up on her campaign. So I hope you enjoy the interview, and I'll check back with you when it's over. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell our viewers a little bit about you and what position you're seeking.
Hi, my name is Marie Timperley, and I am a hairdresser on Wellington Street. I'm seeking the position for Sarnia City Council.
And could you please tell us a little bit about how long you've lived in Sarnia and some of your contributions to the community?
Well, I've lived in Sarnia for many years. I've left Sarnia and come back to Sarnia on a few occasions. I've worked in the United States. I've worked in Alberta. I've lived all over Canada, but basically Sarnia is basically my roots. I've lived here, like I say, for many years. What did you want to ask me, Katie?
And any contributions recently to the community?
I have. Recently, I am an avid sewer of beautiful quilts, and recently I donated a Remembrance Day quilt to the Sarnia Bridge 62 Legion. And all proceeds from the funds of selling the tickets will be raffled off on November the 11th, and I want the funds to be all to be donated to the Poppy Fund.
Excellent. And just a little bit before we get into the politics, a little bit more about you. Just share with us some of your hobbies and interests, favorite books, favorite music, just kind of a little bit more of your personality and your personal interests.
Well, my personal interest is I was running public dances here in Sarnia for quite a while. I attend a lot of public dances. I'm an avid sewer. I've taught quilting classes and sewing classes. I love anything to do with arts and my hands, so that's why I like my hairdressing. I've got experience in many, many fields though. Prior to my hairdressing, I've owned and operated restaurants, licensed restaurants, campgrounds. I've worked in the hospitality industry. My experience in finance and dealing with the general public, interpersonal skills. I teach. I've had to have a lot of decision making, and I love the creative arts and administration.
Excellent. And after the break, we are going to find out more about some reflections on last council's term from Marie, and we're also going to look at what we can expect if Marie gets elected. Joining us, I have Marie Timperley. She's running for a city councillor for the city of Sarnia. And now we're going to look at just some reflections that you've had on the current council and their past 2014 to 2018 term. So my first question for you, what's your overall perception, just overall, on how the current council did in the 2014 to 2018 term?
Well, personally, I'm very disappointed in the present council. I think too much toxicity has happened in the last 4 years. We voted council in to do a job and not just to pursue our mayor and all the vendettas, and I'm very disappointed with it. And I think it's time that we get a fresh new bunch of faces in council. I think we should work together and move forward and do the job that our councillors were voted in to do. I think the world of our mayor, and I think it's time we all work on getting down to business.
Okay, thank you. So a couple of the more hot button topics over the last few years that the public felt were kind of hot button issues involved the conflict between the mayor and senior staff, as you mentioned, the Centennial Park project, and the switch to internet voting. So could you comment on some of these issues, and if you like how they went?
Sure.
Or
which one would you like me to answer first?
well, I suppose we could start with the mayor and senior staff.
Well, do you know, we all make mistakes in our pathway of life, but I think regardless of whether the mayor was, out of line or, regardless of whatever, I think this just went over the top and went a little too far. We have to move forward and stop this vendetta and all this toxicity. I've just had enough of it, and I know the general public has.
Okay. And as far as the Centennial Park project, some praise the park as being a very beautiful new addition. Others criticize the amount of time and going over budget. So what were your thoughts on how the Centennial Park project was handled?
My thoughts on Centennial Park, I think the grounds are beautiful, but I've heard a lot of people come forward and say to me that they don't like the bandstand where the entertainment plays. There's no shade. The children's playground is very disappointing. It's kind of a letdown. A lot of people still like and prefer the old setup.
Okay. And finally, I'm going to ask you about the switch to internet voting. How did you feel about that switch? Are you in favor of the e-voting?
I'm not in favor of the e-voting at all. I don't trust it. I think it's going to affect our election. I mean, the percentage of voting in Sarnia is like 30%. That's not very high for a population of about 75,000. Paper ballots should still be an option. E-voting is great for the younger generation, but I don't trust it myself. When I lived in the States and I saw all the things happen with electronic voting over there, I don't trust it myself.
So now I'd just like to ask you a couple of questions just about if you do get elected, what we could expect from you as a potentially future city councillor. So the first question I have in this section, politics in a digital world. So as you know, I do a lot online. I use social media a lot to spread messages, both socially and politically. So are you for or against social media? What can you say about it in terms of positive and negative for reaching the public, pros and cons, and of course the trolls and the haters that come?
Well, I'm for social media, but in circumstances where people get carried away and they have their hate, things, it's all in how you handle yourself online or what you say in front of people or to the public. But I am for social media. I think it's a great way to get the word out. For people, it's a great way of communication. So yes, I'm for social media.
So in your opinion, what are the 3 most important issues that our city of Sarnia is facing?
I think our city is facing 3 most important issues. I think our infrastructure needs a close, hard look at. I think we need to review it. We need to look into our roads and our sewers. And I really, really would like more input from the public in some of our major decisions.
Okay, so infrastructure and more public input. And is
That's
there
right.
one more main issue that you think that you'd be focusing
on? One more issue, I'd say, I want you to trust me with your tax dollars. I want our taxes not to continue going up every year.
Okay. And do you have any ideas to encourage a stronger voter turnout? You had mentioned, there's only 30% of people who are voting.
I think the only way to get put the paper ballots back on as an option. If we do away with that, there's going to be a lot of people, and I know I hear it all the time. I hear it in my shop. I hear it on the street, that people are not going to vote because they do not trust the electronic voting.
So you predict a drop in the turnout this year?
I predict a drop.
Okay. So back to talking about debt and our tax dollars, how could we balance the debt problem with the crumbling infrastructure?
Well, I think we can by putting a few things on the back burner, like an example I'll use. We can't restore every heritage thing that needs to be restored in Sarnia. I know Jackson Pool, you know, everybody wants Jackson Pool. Yes, I think it's great. But if we can't afford it and there's no money left to repair everything around Sarnia, put some of these things on the back burner. Let's go forward with fixing the things that are in bad need first, like do our roads or sewers first.
So do you have any ideas of how we could attract new business to Sarnia?
Well, attracting new businesses to Sarnia is, I would say we have to go through the young people. They go away to school, they never seem to come back. We have to keep our youth here in Sarnia or do something to attract them, to bring them and to stay here. New businesses need breaks. You know, for instance, like on hydro or water during business hours, we should get a break on things like that, like even small restaurants. We have to help the small businesses. If we can't help the small businesses, we certainly won't get the big ones.
So what is it about you? Now you could take this either personally, professionally, or politically, a combination of all three if you like. But what is it about you that you feel would make you a good representative for all people of Sarnia?
Well, I'm very vocal. I'm a good listener. I don't let people make decisions for me. I research. I look into things. I have a mind of my own, and I'm a very strong person.
Why should I vote for you? And if you do get elected, what could I expect from you personally?
Well, I hope you go out and vote on election day, and I hope you'd vote for me because I expect to make change. I want your voice heard. I want the public heard, and I want Sarnia to be a happy community again. You know, I want Sarnia to be proud where they live and to be proud of their council and their mayor.
Very nice. So that's the end of questions that I have for you. Is there anything else at all that you would like to tell the city of Sarnia, any people that may watch this video and our future voters in October?
All I would like to say is that your voice is important. If you don't go out and vote, you know, it's sad. I mean, we have to be a happy community and we have to like where we live. We want to afford where we live. And we're representatives of council to represent you in the city. We want you to come forward with whatever concerns you have and approach us and bring it to council so that we can go forward and resolve things and issues and cut our taxes if we can. And I guess that's about all I can say for now. But feel free to contact me. I have an email or a phone number, and I'd be glad to answer your questions or look into matters.
And can I get your email and phone number for the viewers?
My phone number is 519-332-2222, and my email is all small case letters, timperley@hotmail.com. And I am on Facebook, and you can message me or send me a friend request, and I gladly talk to you on social media.
Excellent. Marie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie.
And good luck. All right, so that was, again, Marie Timperley. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what Marie had to say, vote for her. If you don't like what Marie has to say, don't vote for her. The point is, you've got to get out there and vote. Again, internet polls open October 11th through to October 22nd. You can also vote by telephone. Thanks for watching, everybody. Share the videos, share this channel. Let's try and raise that voter turnout. Thanks for watching.